Hi everyone, welcome to Conversation with Within. My name is Nando Araújo. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to be here today and connect with you guys one more time. My heart is filled with so much gratitude for the new subscribe. If you are the first time that you watch my channel, please don't feel free to subscribe it. Don't forget to like this video and other video watching my YouTube channel. Please feel free to make any comments below about this conversation today. And I do suggest for you to listen to this conversation to beginning to the end because we're going to talk about some very important things in here today that can help in the spiritual growth in the journey that you are living right now. Excuse me. My guest today is hold on a second, let me bring it here. Is Stephanie. I don't pronounce your last name. I should have asked that before, but it's okay. Uh,
Lewin.
Louis, okay, Stephanie Louis, thank you so much, my friend. Steph Louis, yeah, she's a transformational coach, group therapist, and the author of The Bent Not Broken. That's her book we are going to talk about today as well. A journey through transformation with a master in education and her own lived experience in navigating mental health and addiction. She brings both expertise and impact to the healing journey. Stephanie integrates some connective behavior therapy techniques with mindset mastery, neuroscience, and spirituality. Create a transformational approach that empowers people to rewrite limited beliefs and connect with their authentic selves. Her works will bring the education, lived experience, and a personal empowerment, guide others to transforming pain into purpose, and they remember that they were never broken, only become. This is so beautiful stuff.
Thank
This is
you.
so beautiful, my friend. So I'd just like to start on asking a question. What type of belief that you were raised in as a child?
So growing up, my dad was actually Roman Catholic. He converted to Judaism for my mother before my sister and I were born. So we were raised Reform Jewish,
Well, hold
which
on a second,
means that
Steph.
we just, it's okay.
Oh, for a moment, you all went off now. Okay, just can you start again if you don't mind?
I was raised Jewish, Reform Jewish. My dad was raised by nuns, basically. He was Roman Catholic and he converted to Judaism for my mother. Um, and so we celebrated high holidays, but never really, um, we were never consistent going to temple or church or anything like that. I was always taught to believe that God was someone outside of myself. And I think that growing up, that's what caused me to have a disconnect from my divinity, from myself. And I think through this process of conditioning, I've had a set of beliefs that actually kept me stuck in fear. One example is that if there's a death in the family in the Jewish religion, you do something called you sit Shiva. And it always had a very depressing connotation to me. Um, I felt that when you lose someone, that's it, it's a loss, there is no connection. And so that created a sense of separation for me and my higher powers, I call source, infinite intelligence, God, creator. And what's interesting is now looking back, I realized that I always felt lost from childhood to my young adult years. I felt a sense of loss, like I didn't know where home really was. Um, but then I realized that in order to feel a sense of loss, you have to be connected to somewhere first. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel lost. So I really spent a lot of this time, the last 7 years, I would say, kind of on my journey to return home, because I always felt disconnected. Religion didn't really sit well with me as a child. I was always praying to God because I felt a sense of connection to some extent, but I was never really taught what it truly means to connect with love, with truth. So it was a challenging time in childhood with religion and spirituality.
But at what age, if you remember that you disconnected, from those beliefs, and connected, with the, because I believe everyone's coming here, they're coming with a top, I don't say, but I can use the word belief, but everyone's, I'm trying to say, everyone's coming down here, they come with a type of energy they are going to connect someday in their lives. It can be in a young age, sometimes it can be the old age. But do you remember when you have this disconnect, for the old beliefs, you connect with what you are connected now?
It really took a lot of inner work. I had to let go of the external noise. Um, when I started connecting with myself, that's when I was able to make a firm connection with my higher mind. I was so used to using my physical mind, the lower mind aspect of myself to make decisions for me. And it created a sense of fear. And I think that it took losing a lot financially, emotionally, mentally. I went through a divorce. I struggled with alcohol myself. Um, I struggled with chronic depression and anxiety. And I think during that time, I didn't really understand my emotions because I never felt connected to them intuitively. I was either avoiding, numbing, distracting, bypassing myself, pushing myself away. And so I could never really get to know myself, which is where I connect to source. So it really took a lot of failed friendships. It took a lot of failed relationships. It took a lot of failed jobs in order for me to really meet myself for the first time. And I was in complete darkness and loneliness. But that's where I actually felt myself for the first time, was I was able to connect with my higher mind without the noise. And I was able to offload my thoughts and my belief systems. They changed completely because I was able to really connect with my intuition, which is your inner teacher. And when you're numbing and you're avoiding, you don't get access to that. You really don't. You have to spend some time. The isolation period turns into solitude when you start to really enjoy your own company, you know?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Uh, as we talk a little bit before we start recording, and I just want to mention that again for people that are going to watch this video, this conversation. I mean, as I talk now with you, I hear some questions. Those questions don't come from the spirit. Those questions coming from someone they're going to listen to this conversation. The one that came to me here, why you choose, to become a therapist now?
I feel like you really don't know how to find the light without having to search it for yourself. I've always been a teacher, and so it's always been a purpose of mine to help guide individuals into higher learning, whatever that looked like at the time. But as I expanded my consciousness, I really wanted to help other people shift out of their limiting beliefs because I think that's when I was able to give myself compassion and turn inward and give myself love rather than completely depleting myself and giving it to everybody else without me having received it myself. I think that because of the compassion that I have towards myself in the process of transformation, I so badly want to offer these same teachings to everybody else because we're all really connected as one. So until I really truly connected with me, was I able to be effective in the connection and build a rapport with my clients and with other people.
Beautiful, thank you. And I do have another question here now. It's pretty cool now. If someone asked me why you think you had to go through all the challenges, I mean, as a young person until today, what do you think that you went through all these challenges and all the lessons in your life till today?
Well, now I know it to be that my soul chose this lifetime and this vessel. Um, and the real purpose is to expand my soul. And in order for the soul to expand and to learn and grow here on earth, we need to experience contraction. We need to experience darkness, suffering, because that's how we grow. Just like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, there's this liminal space where it goes inward and it puts itself into a cocoon, and it needs that darkness and that isolation so that it can become recalibrated, transformed. And I think that we all go through this, and we all go through it in different ways. Our life narratives are different, but it's the same idea of having to go through suffering so that we can learn love and so that we can bring it to other people. So I really truly believe that if I didn't go through my experiences, I wouldn't have been able to learn how to grow independently on my own. I needed to experience abandonment, neglect, so that I can learn self-love. Because if I was receiving it from everybody around me, I wouldn't have that gift to come through. So it's the paradox of life, you go through life and we all have a vision, we all have a dream, especially when you're children, we have this creative, imaginative outlet, and we're like sponges. From 0 to 7, we operate mainly in a theta state of consciousness, which is very receptible, suggestible state where we internalize information that's projected onto us, and then they become a set of beliefs. Well, as children, we have this vision and we're so play-like, we're childlike. And I think over the years we lose that. And so for me, the vision always stayed, but I never really knew the plan. And I think that's the purpose, because if you knew the plan, the vision, you would almost give up on the vision because you would think, well, it's too hard to get there. The journey is way too hard to get to the destination. So I'm just forget the vision. So I think we all go through a series of tests that inevitably become our testimony and our life story, but we're not meant to stay in the pain. We're really meant to transform it and alchemize it, just like every natural thing in this universe. And if we can just get people to understand that there will be some challenges, but it's to have a new life, it's going to require you to lose parts of your old lives. That's a part of this process. So I really don't think we fear the unknown. I think we fear the loss of the known, because as human beings, we are so attached. We create an identity with our life experiences and the people and the places and the things and the material, that we lose the biggest part of ourselves, which is eternal, our souls.
It's a beautiful thing. I just want to ask you something related. I mean, some few moments ago, you talking about addictions that you went through now. And I'd just like to, if you feel God, to explain, what you did, or what was the reason why that you chose, to use something or do something. If you can explain that, I mean, the reason why and what you did after that to free yourself, for some other addictions.
So I didn't really know what addiction was. now looking back, addiction, the disease of addiction for me is just the disease of separation. Um, I've always, had a glass of wine with family, friends, dinners, holidays, would go out in my early 20s, late teens, parties, college, did all of that. So it was never really an issue until I had a lot of different mini crises in my life. I got married, and when I had my first son, my water broke at 23 weeks. So I was on hospital bed rest for 11 weeks before I gave
Wow.
birth. So that
Wow.
was traumatic. And because I never really learned how to express my emotions in a healthy way, um, everything in this world is energy in motion. Nothing's really stagnant. Nothing's ever really just not moving. Everything is moving. So our emotions are also energy in motion. And I've just suppressed my emotions from such a young age, whether it was to stay silent or if I was acting out in rage, I didn't express myself in healthy ways. And so becoming a new mom, bringing my son home from the hospital, it became very overwhelming. I had a lot of postpartum depression, and then COVID happened, and I felt like I lost my identity. I wanted to go back to the classroom a year after my son was born because I couldn't teach during that time period because his immune system was compromised. He was in the NICU for quite a while. And when I wanted to go back into the school system, they wanted to start me at step one after serving 11 years as a teacher. So I
Wow.
couldn't do that anymore.
Hmm.
Um, and so I had a sense of identity crisis, and that was my first time I really experienced what I call an ego death, or what many other, psychologists, thought leaders call an ego death, where I felt really shaken up. It was my first, I guess, catalyst into my spiritual awakening. Um, and I used alcohol to numb and suppress my emotions at this time. It was just a way for me to not feel my feelings. It was a way for me to run away from myself due to the shame and the guilt, and the anger that I suppressed for a very long time. And so alcohol was a way that I can numb the painful emotions, momentarily, temporarily at the time, and to keep myself from feeling the pain that I had suppressed for so long. So I got into trouble crashing my car into a tree. And it was that moment where yeah, I needed help. And I didn't feel comfortable asking for help because I was really ashamed. Um, I always struggled asking for support, and this time I couldn't do it on my own. I really needed God. And this is where He really stepped in for me. It took me on a completely different path, completely different journey that I'm so grateful for today. But
Yes.
to get there was a little bumpy.
Wow. It's a beautiful story, but I love what you said at the end, and that's when I connected to God. That's, yeah, I do believe, because I went through to a lot of things as well. I mean, I have some addictions, when I was young, and with alcohol, with drugs, and but in a reality, I was just, using those things to, face, the reality, I was just that to fill up a void for the things, well, or better say, I was using those things to find a way to survive, to continue living to those people, like my father, some other people, they did so many things to me when I was a child. They still live close to me. So I felt that was my only way to survive with that.
Yeah.
Like a numb, like you always, when you go to a hospital to have a surgery, they put you, give an
Mhm.
anesthesia, they put you to sleep. That's me. I lived it in their life for a
Yeah.
long time. You know what I to be able to survive. That's was, when I was. the way that I see it is I want our ego stepping in, you know what I mean, and make us believe, you know what I mean, this is the best way for us to live our lives. Keep using this, keep using drugs, keep using alcohol, or uncontrolled sex, you know what I mean, or keep continue to be angry, you know what I mean, because this is the way you are going to be safe. You know, this is a safe place. Stay here with me, or you protect you for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
It is so amazing. Some people sometimes die this way. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But I do believe the universe, God, you know what I mean, give to us a many, many chances, help us many, many times to overcome those things. It happened to you, it happened to me as well, with so many other people. I just don't agree. People say life, and no one ever give them a chance, to change. I don't believe that. You
We
know what I
we're,
mean?
we're wired. Our ego is wired for our physical mind is wired for survival.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah.
We have five physical senses for a reason. It's because the ego's job is to experience what is happening, not what is going to happen.
Yeah. Or the you live in the present, constantly the present. I mean, yeah, yeah.
And so if we're really only perceiving 5% of our reality, but our reality is made up of past thoughts and feelings of the past and trauma and experiences that were really painful, the ego perceives a threat all the time. And so you're reacting to this all the time. And in order to kind of pump the brakes on that, drug addiction is rampant because really people don't realize the power that they have over their minds and how to actually live a reality they don't want to escape from. They can begin to create a reality that they don't want to numb because they'll enjoy it. And so I had to get to a place in my life where, okay, if I'm not going to numb my emotions anymore, what can I do with this? And I realized that truthfully, this is science, but with energy, you can't destroy or recreate energy. And your emotions are energy. And so if they're just going to sit there and you're suppressed and you become more dense and you become more lower vibrating, then you stay in that. The only thing you can truly do with emotions is transform them, where, anger becomes understanding, pain becomes your catalyst for power or your purpose. Um, the victim mentality becomes motivation to move forward and grow and evolve in the life you want to live. And of course, it took me a little bit to really truly understand this because I had limiting beliefs about myself. I really lacked confidence and self-trust, but that lack was a part of fear. And I truly, when I connected to God, source, creator, I stopped fearing because I realized that fear was just the absence of love, and you can never be absent from love. So it was an illusion of the mind for me.
I love how this. I can stay here for hours and listen to you. It's so beautiful how to explain things. Yeah, but I know that you are professional, that you work with a lot of people, and that you are a human being as well. Like me, I'm not doing the things that you do. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I mean, I only help people to understand how energy works now. I'm originally from Brazil, and I grew up in spirituality since I was 7 years old, and I see a lot of things. I know the dark entities, what they do with people, what they do to their mind. They are very powerful. A lot of people don't believe, but a dark entities is real. The dark entities are very powerful. Even the ancient people, they lived here thousand years ago. They know them. They know about those entities. It's a long story. We don't go too deep in this conversation, but there's something that affect a lot of people because when you go through to anything, anything that you experience when you were a child, even sometimes as adult as well, then you connect to fear, you connect to sadness, depression, or anxiety. Every time that you connect to those low frequencies energies, we open a small portal, for those dark entities to connect with people. And the more you stay there, the more you avoid to ask for help, the more this portal will open up and the more will come through the portal to us. There's reason so many people. I believe you know some people that you know, or you heard that before. Sometimes people do some things, you know what I mean? Kill a bunch of people, or the family, whatever it is, do some crazy things. Then after that, I said, why did he did that? He said, I don't know. I don't remember. The only thing that I remember that I got very upset, with my wife or my husband. I got very mad. And after that, I was angry. Then after that, I just don't remember anything. Like I said, when they open, you stay there, they come so strong. The goals they has is to take people miles away and make people do things they're not supposed to do. You know what I mean? But I'm so the other thing that I like to say as well, but we all go through those things because it's part of a journey. Sometimes people see someone like you, see someone like me, they think, we are walk in the clouds and we are always, no, Shanti, Shanti, Namaste. No, we are humans as well. We all face our own demons as well. We still face a lot of challenges in our lives, that we should continue work with ourselves. But one thing that I did not learn about myself, I learned from the spirit that talked to me. They said, never, how I'm going to put this in here, hold on a sec. Never avoid, to help anyone to do something for someone when you are going through something. What they talked to me said, the best time that you can, no, the best thing that you can do to help yourself with whatever that you are going through is to open yourself to help someone. And then I asked, explain to me why you say this to me. They said, because when you open yourself to help someone, even though you are going through very tough challenges in your lives, you disconnect yourself from your problems. You disconnect yourself from these low frequencies energies that you are connected at the moment, and you connect yourself with God. You start raising up your frequencies, energies. In that moment, here está coming to you.
Mhm.
Solution for your problem. So many other things start coming to you. Even though some people say, yeah, but I'm doing this, it feels like things getting worse. Yeah, I can feel that. I went through that many times. But what they said to me, do not stop.
Right.
Do not stop. And you see, soon you see why they we are asking for you to not stop. But I chose to believe in the spirit. I
Mhm.
chose 100%. I'm going to continue to do it. Was not an easy path. Even though now I'm facing some challenges, they said to me, keep doing what you're supposed to do and I wait. It's not an easy thing for us as a humans, my friend. You have a children, I have a child as well. We are single parents. It's not easy things. We need to work. We have a bill to pay. We have so many things. We are facing our own things. And then you say,
Mhm.
it's a reason. It's not, once again, it's not an easy thing for us to do. But I learned I had so many experience in my past now that they said, trust me, it's something you come.
Mhm.
It's about, have faith. I was talking to someone this morning. It's about to have faith and to push yourself. So many things happened to me this week. And I said, oh man, I thought, but I had choice. One, to panic and I say, why me? Or two, to just say, you know what, I'm going to take a deep inhale and exhale. I'm going to place my hands on my heart and I'm going to ask for help for God's and assistance to go through this. Because I know this is being preparing me for something beautiful. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, 'cause the universe, they can make us, it's not punish us, they can make us feel uncomfortable. Sometimes way uncomfortable, but it's just to help us.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna cause everyone that you know that before you went to them for us to help to not help you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna close some doors here if there that's always open for you. I'm gonna close, but to help you to connect with a better version of yourself. Now I understand it. Before I couldn't understand that.
Mhm.
Before I was, why me? Why this shit is happening to me? I was
Hmm.
in a victim mode. Now I understand it's a reason. It's
Yeah.
about to surrender, to let it go, and to trust.
Mhm. One of the things I um, talked about in my book is, being in a victim consciousness or creator consciousness. And that's just a different frequency. You're kind of tuning your thoughts to so that you can see different perspectives of life. But I started to recognize that anytime I felt a sense of fear, that was actually me being on the threshold of growth. And the fear was actually my higher self telling me, you have a limiting belief that needs to be redefined so that you can move forward. What you want is right on the other side of that fear. So instead of looking at fear and running away from it or numbing through fear or being angry at the fear, I chose to actually embrace the fear because it was still an aspect of my inner child. It was still an aspect of my past that I still wasn't able to get past to level up. And so, you know, I'm sure you've heard of the term shadow work and trauma
Yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah,
We're really always doing shadow work. In the present moment, we're constantly doing shadow work. If you can be aware of what that is, because you take yourself wherever you go. You're not separate from your past version of yourself. It's all still here. So anytime you're triggered or you get activated, I use the term activated, it has, a little bit more positive connotation. But those activations are actually meant for you to reach your dreams even more, even more, even more. But we don't recognize that. We think the fear is something wrong with us. We then turn it into anxiety, to
yeah,
depression. We overthink what this fear could be. There's got to be something wrong. There's going to be a loss coming. But really, it's because life is so abundant and expansive that when you operate from the mindset of love, you kind of, the fear transmutes into that. You start to realize, oh, okay, I went through this. I can get through anything. But if I don't have a sense of fear of some sort in my everyday life, then I don't feel like I'm really growing. Because a part of doing the inner work and overcoming limiting beliefs and shadow areas or psycho blocks, as I call them, that are so conditioned and programmed in your childhood, it's going to require you to continuously integrate and face everything that you felt you couldn't get over, whether this is in relationships, whether it's limiting beliefs about working, jobs, finances, spirituality. You're going to be faced with some of the aspects of yourself that you've pushed down. And that is the sense of fear that we get. But really, it's just an absence of love. And when you
yeah.
approach the situation, when you approach it with love and compassion, you start to actually see the effects of that, the results that come from that. It's a challenge though, because people like us, we're responsible for other human beings, not just ourselves. And sometimes children are not ready to experience life through that lens. They have to go through their own trials and tribulations and challenges. So I think that's where it gets frustrating sometimes. But I think that you wouldn't have a reason to have faith without the challenges. The challenges require you to have faith. And so if you always choose faith over fear, you start to see faith working in your favor.
Yeah, faith, if someone asks me, what is faith for you, it's kind of, no one ever asked me before, but faith for me is believing something that you can't see yet. It's not there present in your life yet.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you just keep pushing, you are not ignoring, you know what I mean, what you are facing. That whatever it is can be anything, anxiety, depression, sadness, addiction. You are not ignoring anything, But the faith, like I said, I remember that okay, let me give you an example for myself. This came to me now. When I used to drink, my ego used to say, look how many people that drink. That's now they've been doing this forever. But anyway, but when I decided to change that, to stop there, was not an easy journey. But then I remember that I ask for help, not one time, not two times, not three times, a lot of times. But what I learned from the experience, that was my faith asking, for help. You ask one time, then nothing happened. Then you ask two, three, four, five times, nothing happened. Then you up, I'm done with this. This is my life, and I don't see not wrong. That's it. Faith, like I said, is something that you can't see, but it's something that we cannot stop doing. You understand what I'm saying? It's a constant working. Like we don't stop work every single day. We have something to work on. You have a child, I have a child. You work with people, I work with people. We face many things. Every single day we are work with something. It's something that we still work for a few days, few weeks. It's something new that comes every single day. We face something.
Right.
You know what I mean? For us to just work, oh, this is something new. Let me see how I'm gonna resolve this. Let me see how I'm gonna. Oh, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know why. Oh, I'm a little bit sad. Oh, I'm a little bit angry with this person right now. It's always something for us to work on. But once again, faith is something that you can't see, you can't feel, but it's something that you do that you believe no, there is a way out no.
Mhm.
It's like sometimes I like to explain to people when I talk to people. I say no, it's like you decide to run a 4K marathon, right? So it's a bunch of people. Let's say I've got 300 people, right? There's a line here, right? Someone's gonna no, it's not the line. No, 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 no. This is the start line here, right? Someone has a gun, whatever, to go, pow, right? Everybody start, boom, boom, take off, right? Some a little bit faster, some a little slow, but it's 40K, right? So, but everybody knows that a finish line is somewhere, but you cannot see the finish line. You have no idea where the finish line is. You know it's somewhere, but you don't know where. But then you start, 40K can, let's say, take, 3 hours, right? Let's say it's taking 3 hours. Then you start 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then for some people, you get a little bit tired. Man, I can't see the finish line. But you know the finish line is somewhere. You can't see, you can't feel. You have no idea. Then after a while, you start losing sense of how many minutes, how many miles that you ran. You have no idea. Your body's, it's tired. Your muscles start cramping. People give some water. A lot of people hold the water. Here, drink some, throw water in your face. But I say, you still cannot see the finish line. But you have in your mind that you're going to cross the finish line. But once again, you can't see
Right.
nothing. But then you keep running, you keep running. Then finally, after like I said, your body, many times your mind say, this is it, man. Your body say, I cannot do this anymore. But you keep pushing because you know the finish line is somewhere there. You keep it pushing. Now I prepare myself for this. I train for months and months, and but your body, your mind, your thoughts, you got to confuse it here. Maybe it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You don't know if it's 2 o'clock, and now it's 3 o'clock. You have no idea about the time. You start losing so many things inside the mind, inside the body. But the one thing that stay in your mind the entire time is the finish line. You want to see there. But then when you see that, oh, I got chills all over my body. It's there.
Mhm.
Everything's changing in your body. A new energy is popping in.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You feel so many more things that before you were close to give up. But I also, it's there, it's there. It's there. I can see it. It then there, like, so, whoa, whoa. You cross the finish line. It's like with faith, you can't see the finish line. But it doesn't matter what you are facing, what you're going through, how hard it is, or painful, whatever it is, you cannot stop.
I think you make an interesting point, but I think what some people don't realize is uh, I think everyone has faith. They just have faith in the wrong story, you know?
Love that. I never heard that. I never heard that. I love that.
Having faith that you don't have faith. It's like I have faith in because both are unknown. Fear is unknown, trust is unknown, but you're having faith that it's not going to work out. So if people can just change their point of attraction as to change the quality of their thoughts, the faith looks a lot different. For example, think of, I use this analogy a lot teaching in my groups, but an apple seed, right? The apple tree is actually embedded inside the seed,
Yeah.
right? And it's actually inside the seed. Now, with a little bit of time and processing, it it has faith that it's going to turn into a tree. Now, this is the same for everything in life. Everything that grows from something small to big. And so the purpose of our evolution is not to actually shrink. We're supposed to expand. So there's more faith in the knowing that whatever's going to happen is actually there to serve your greatest good and your highest potential. Now, you won't see that until you're tuned into that type of reality. Then you're in alignment. Then you're in frequency. You're in alignment with your core frequency and vibration, and you start to experience signs and synchronicity and the small miracles of life because now you're tuned into a reality that is faith in growth rather than faith in lack. And so for me, I always had faith, but I had faith that nothing was going to work out. And so if I was
Me
always
too, me too. I was there in the same place for a long time. Yeah,
always very trusting. I was just trusting in the wrong story of my life. I was trusting
yeah.
in the old story, not the new story. So I really had to change what it was I wanted to have faith in because both were unknown. And there's no sense in worrying twice. So once I had surrender, I feel like surrender is the biggest key to everything because when you're attached to your old life, right, you are creating resistance to energy coming in. It can't come in. When your attention is over here and there's something coming in this way, you can't observe it. You can't hold it. It's not tangible. And so for me, a lot of this was I had to let go of the control. I had to really have faith in something completely bigger than me. And that's really what made all the difference. And it's such a beautiful experience, because anytime I'm faced with a challenge, though in the present moment it might be significant and frustrating and inconvenient, but I'm always so grateful afterwards. I'm always so thankful for the gifts that I get from it, whether I'm getting more patience, whether I'm getting more creative, whether I'm getting more opportunities, more growth, more expanded knowledge, more expanded awareness. There's always something to be learned from things that happen in my life that I don't really prefer happening, you know? And instead of becoming agitated, I really just kind of let it go. I might freak out a little bit momentarily, but I use the proper healthy coping mechanisms and tools to really connect back with my higher self to know, okay, I was stepping out of alignment. Now here I am. And it also required me to be able to be vulnerable and talk to people like you and communicate and connect because I don't know everything. I
Me
only
either.
know, I know a lot, but I also know very little at the same time. It's almost like the apple seed. It's an apple tree and an apple seed at the same time. At the same time. It's just with space time, there's a delay in the process of change. So for us, it just takes a little time. Patience and surrender is required so that you can get faster results and to get out of the muck where you are so that you can start seeing positive results in your life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. No, but I was listening to you, and every morning, I say many things in the morning. I wake up between 3, 4 o'clock, to meditate, to pray, to say for my affirmation. But one of those things that I always do in the morning is open myself and I ask God to use me. And I ask, how can I help someone? How can I serve someone in need? But we talked a few months ago, that the spirit talked to me a long time ago that when you're going through, never avoid to help someone, never stay home, never go to your dark room and stay there. Go find a way to help someone. But this is something, the reason I'm back and again, this because they asked me to go back and again a little bit to about this because it's something they work so well in my life. And but I have to push myself, because I'm a human. I always tell people I'm a human, my friend. People sometimes think I have the way that I talk to them, the way that I live my life. People they see me every day when I go to do massage, or people that are working here, or when I teach a yoga class. People see me always the same way, with a good energy, saying beautiful things. Always my ask people say, "Hey, how you doing?" Always well. But I'm trying to say that I'm a human as well. I'm facing my challenges. I'm not perfect by any means. But when I'm facing something, I feel this old version of myself popping in.
Mhm.
It didn't try to take over. So no, he's going through something right now. I can feel that. I know what I need to do to back to him again.
Mhm.
I feel that it dance, because it's energy. You can feel it. You change the way you are feeling. You start change the way you think. But I dance, once again, I don't ignore those energies. I don't ignore. I know they are trying to come. I know exactly what I need to do. And then I go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
If I have a client, good. I open myself to help the clients. Could be massage, could be whatever it is. Or if not, I'm going to record a video for my other YouTube channel, or I'm going to record a short on me for post it somewhere on Instagram, whatever it is, or I'm going to list something, someone, right? They
Mhm.
can help. I'm going to share something with everyone so they can understand what I'm saying. This become a good habit that I do in my life for a long time, right? So yesterday, I had some problem with my air conditioning, right? It was not cold, where this blown air, and then some other things, So my cell phone was not too far away from me. My cell phone, right, was there. So then those things, I say, oh man, I got this now. It's hot in here. I gotta do so many things, you know what I mean? And but then I heard a voice, someone talking on my phone.
Mhm.
So but as soon as I start listening to this person, I know who was. I said was Dr. Wendyer. Do you know him? Dr.
Yes.
Wendyer.
Yep.
So he, but I'm emotional here, my friend. This is true story. It happened yesterday. My
Mhm.
phone was far away. My phone was off.
Mhm.
As I'm going through those things, these things with the air conditioning happened, was so many things. I was in the moment facing.
Right.
Once again, I was going to do something, right? I heard the voice. Whoa, first I say I thought that he was here in spirit, but no, it was coming from my cell phone. But I know his voice because have a library on my YouTube. There I have many of his videos
I did
saved
that
there.
meditations and
Yeah, but then, like I said, I start listening what the thing he was saying.
wow. Yeah.
And then he was talking exactly about the things I was going through,
You needed.
face in that time. And I listened to him and I say, wow. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you to come through to my cell phone.
Mhm.
But I will try to say it become a habit because you change your energies every time that you're going through something, that you open yourself
Mhm.
to serve the others, to help the others. You change, like I said before, you change the energies. You connect with different energies. You are not in the victim mode. You are not here. You are here. You ask God, God, show me how I can help someone, what I can do to help someone. Sometimes I tell people, go outside, drive, go to supermarket, go to pubs, go to Walmart, go somewhere. I guarantee you're gonna see someone they need help.
Mhm.
You're gonna find someone they need help from you because you open your heart for this, and the universe is gonna bring people in situation because you're out there looking for someone to help. And I guarantee you, my friend, you know what I mean? You feel the shift, you feel things changing. I can talk here for hours. I know so many people, they went through some okay, one came here, they asked me to share. I don't know this person, but this is true story, no. His son, was playing outside the house, right? His son, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 years old, something like that. It's very young age, right? He was playing inside the house. The ball went to the other side, and he took off. You know what I mean? A car was coming, didn't see him, and he died right away, right? So anyway, so of course, so he's a human. He felt, you know what I mean? He started crying, you know what I mean? But son died right away. So after the funeral, right? He, you know what he did? This is true story. He went to his neighbors. Many of his neighbors know, because he lived in the neighborhood for a long time. He started knocking each one doors and said, and people when I opened thought he was gonna ask for something, right? Said, listen, if it's something that I can help him, it's something that I can pray for you, it's something that I can do for you for whatever that you are facing, is anything that I can do to help you? And people say, no, no, okay. Then he went to the next one. Hey, how you doing? Is this something that I can do for you to help? Something is something that I can pray for you. He
That.
went to door after door after door after door after door.
Mhm.
And then, my friend, after that, he just learned a huge lesson
Mhm.
because he was able to of course he's a human, like as he felt the loss of his son, the death of his son, but he chose, I'm not going to stay here. You know
Right.
what I mean? Blame God. Ask why my son died so young. He's so this. Why so many bad people live for 80, 90 years, 100 years? You know what I mean? And my son full to life, so many beautiful dreams. No, he never went to that direction.
Yeah.
He chose to go find a way to help people, to help himself.
Mhm.
There's so many other beautiful stories I can mention here. I'm not going to go too deep in this, but it makes sense because, like I said before, you are not connected with what you are going through.
Right. Yeah, he chose not to suffer, because there's going to be pain, but suffering is how you're surviving the pain.
I love that. I never heard that. Soft is how you survive the pain. I love that.
Actually, I believe it's a Buddhist technique called the two arrows, where they make a model of you have pain and then the outer layer is suffering. And suffering is how you're responding or how you're surviving your pain. Let's say you go through a breakup and you feel lonely, depression, sadness. The suffering would be how you're reacting. How are you surviving with your pain? Are you numbing? Are you going out seeking validation? Are you isolating? So those behaviors, they actually create more pain, kind of like a ripple effect, because energy is cyclical. We live in a causal universe. You make one choice, you act on it, it creates a result. And so the suffering is really our choice. And some people don't realize that because they don't know how to handle or how to deal with their pain in a healthy way. And so the suffering is coping in unhealthy ways. So he chose to not suffer. He chose to take his pain, the grief, and transmute it into love, which I think is beautiful.
And it's so many people been doing every single day. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, my friend, you know what I mean? And I can see the results, how much it's been helping. But as you mentioned Buddha a little bit, something came to me. That's one of these lessons left in here. He said all the suffering coming from sometimes I talk in my yoga class and I mean so I said all the suffering Buddha left a beautiful message here for us. He said all the suffering coming from I wait for someone to say hey people from
Us.
attachment, yeah, from attachment to attach to someone, to attach to something. Is there something because I know you work with so many people, like I said, you mentioned a few times ago, they go to a breakup, they go to a divorce, right? It ain't they suffer so much. Why they suffer so much? It's not because they love the person. they don't have the person anymore. The reason that people, I went through that many times, that I suffered so much, I went to depression, anxiety, so many stuff before, was because, that person was everything for me. No, let me change. I'm making myself believe that person was everything for me. And without them, it would have been impossible for me to survive. So I created the belief
Mhm.
inside myself. But what I like to say, in reality, I never ever loved that person.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So many people, they are in a relationship for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, say, oh, you still love your partner? Yo, I love my partner, I love this stuff. But I'm going to try to say, billions of people in this planet are in a relationship with someone and they say, I love them, I love my partner. No, they don't love the partner. They want dependent to the partner for something for themselves. They
Mhm.
can be so many things now. They can be the need for financial, the need for security, the need to fulfill now some kind of insecurities. So many things. For fear to be alone, for so many different reasons. Then they have to use now. That's the ego say, you love them. You love them. Tell them that you love them. That's why so many people say, I cannot live without this person. I cannot live without you. Please never leave me. Please never cheat on me. Please never do this or do that. So sometimes when I talk to people, when I walk to a client, they say, you don't love this person. No, I do love. No, you don't.
Yeah. Well, we grow up, when we have childhood wounds, we tend to feel broken inside, so to speak. We don't feel wholeness because we've never learned how to receive maybe a healthy, secure love, maybe from caregivers, parents, society. And so we grow up having to survive those wounds by playing different roles, maybe being a perfectionist or overachiever, maybe being the constant giver. But that helps us fulfill those unhealthy attachment patterns. And so we grow up continuously using those same patterns to seek fulfillment, not realizing our wholeness within us.
Yeah.
And it 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 basically we're attracting the people who also match our wounds. And so they don't know how to love us. Uh,
No.
but we are wired for connection and healthy attachment, from being a small baby, having your mother and father. And when that gets disrupted at a young age, we don't learn how to have healthy connection with other people. So it takes the form of control. It takes the form of codependent patterns where you need something outside of you to fulfill you, because really we lack a sense of self, which is the separation from ourself, which is really the whole basis of my book. Is I experienced that. I didn't have a secure uh, childhood in the sense that I felt secure, stable, grounded, protected.
Me
Um,
neither.
so it caused me to um, control so that people wouldn't leave
Me
me,
too. Yeah.
And so I always had to deplete myself emotionally,
Yeah.
abandon my own needs, abandon
Me
myself
too.
so that other people wouldn't abandon me. So
Too.
again, our survival instincts are all about creating this character or this role we play to
Yeah.
get people to keep us. Like we need to be kept, you know? So it's hard to break because there is some point where you break all of that, and there is a moment of time, I call it liminal space, where all of your old patterns, they have to go. They're not working for you anyway. It's based off false cognitive distortions and limiting beliefs. When I didn't have my dad around at a young age, I would say, "Oh, okay, well, it makes sense. I must not be worthy. I must be unlovable
Yeah.
because why else would somebody leave?" So I grow up thinking that that's my identity. I identify as someone who's unlovable. And so I would show up and express myself as someone who is unlovable. I might self-sabotage, I might create chaos, I might, use self-sabotaging behaviors to create chaos within myself because I never learned peace. It didn't feel safe for me. I didn't know what that looked like. And so I think many people who struggle with childhood trauma, which is most people, you can be traumatized seeing a car accident outside of you,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it is to other people. So I think that we have these cognitive distortions and they play such a major role in our lives because your thoughts really do create things. And so your mentality creates your reality. And so if my mentality is that of lack and unworthiness, then everything in my life situationally is going to mimic and reflect the idea of unworthiness. And I'll find any excuse to see it that way because that would be reinforcing my belief. So it's really important to I use neuroplasticity and the rewiring process and neurolinguistic reprogramming because our subconscious mind really does control our conscious awareness. And so your subconscious is made of everything past, stored memories, stored experiences, stored emotions. And if you haven't processed that in a healthy way, you're living life in the present as if it were still in the past. So you continue to experience obstacles, you continue to experience surface level relationships, you continue to experience, a closed off heart, not being able to express yourself, be vulnerable, and have healthy communication with other people. And unblocking those subconscious beliefs really do start to shift, and you can see reality for really what it is, which is completely expansive and abundant. But you have to learn to let it in. And if you don't learn to receive, which can be hard. I know for me, I didn't know how to receive love because I wasn't shown in a healthy way. It was
Me,
project,
me
condition
too.
takes its place. So I love people like us really in different ways. Energy is so you can transfer it, you can change it, you can work with it, but you really have to be open-minded and wanting change. And I know some people who are addicted to their thoughts of being unhappy. I mean, some of the clients, I ask them, do you want to change? And they'll tell me no. They're
Yeah. They feel so safe there. It's the fear to go to a place that you never went before, to experience something you never felt before. It's very serious, Stephanie.
and that's only
Like
where
I'm sorry, like you talking because some people died. They should know I'm going to die this way. They choose to not change it. Like I said, we talked in the beginning. Life give God, the universe, whatever like to call, millions of opportunities to every single one in this planet, every single person.
Mhm. Yeah, it's always sad to see, but I also see it as it's not their time. If you were to see a butterfly struggling in its cocoon, you see that it needs that pressure, you see it struggling, but if you were to cut that cocoon too early, the butterfly would die. So it's their time when they're ready to wake up or to shift their state of being. But it really does require you to surrender the ego, the control.
Yeah, 100%. For the last 20 years, I worked so much in my life, but the last, I can say, 12 years, 10 years, I chose, to surrender, but I did choose to surrender a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. No, I said, if I want to, that's me, right? I
Mhm.
talked to myself and I said, if I want to change my life, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to start here, but oh no, this other area here, forgiveness, I don't want to do there right now. Oh, this other area here called compassion, or the other one called kindness or patience. No, no, I'm going to work this one here for a long time. Then after that, I go, no, what I decide to do, I'm not going to work with every single one. So I asked the universe to help me. I said, I need help. I want to go, and then I want to finish this 40K here. This is the start line. I can't see the finish line, but I'm going to cross. This
Mhm.
is my own marathon. No one is here with me. Don't want to be in first place or second place. I'm not going to be in first place or second place or no, I'm going to cross the line, the finish line. It doesn't matter what. And I'm
Mhm.
opening myself to do everything that I need to do. So I talk to the universe about that, talk to spirit about that. And then, my friend, they start sending people into my life. Some already passed, some are still here alive. They start guiding me to places for me to work, to serve, to help people, to learn. But was a long journey. But every single person that I call the earth angels, they
Mhm.
came into my life back then. They was offering me something. Even the I say, if you like, you can come this day at this time. I'm gonna do this, this, that. I said, I'll be there. If well, for about I think 4 or 5 different people came different time, but they all offer me something. I said, I'll be there. Before I moved to this area, no, I had someone that I dated for a long time. We're still friends till today, Melissa. And she talked to me about, a metaphysical place in Clearwater. I used to live in Pinellas Park, by Tampa Bay area. And I went there. So this place for the first time, when I went there, I just fell in love. I talked with Susanna. She's back at that time she was responsible for the place. In the end of the soaps, all the things they do, I went to talk to her. Oh my God, I fell in love with the place. Make a long story short, they used to have soaps on I think it was on Wednesdays and Sundays, right? So I said, I make a decision without saying to anyone, I'm going to be here every Wednesday and every Sunday. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay here, come here, but I say I'm not gonna take any clients. I used to have my own office back there. I used to work to massage, do a lot of it was a beautiful sanctuary. And I said, I don't care if someone pay me $1 million cash to have a session. The day that I need to come here, I'm going to say no. And I did
Mhm.
for over 2 years without missing one day over 2 years. Some others was for a different time, but this was the longest one. So there I met Monica, I met Max, I met Jeremy, and some other people. The university sent to my life as well to help him. But I'm trying to say I make a commitment to myself. And
Mhm.
then, like I said, they start saying, offer me things, opportunities. And I was going on and on and on and on. I remember a few times and I used to go, because I'm a human, I used to go through some things and I used to talk to Max, I used to call him Papa, Papa, and I'm going through this today, I cannot do this, do not. And he used to talk to me, Nando, you know what you need to do. You have to choose. You can sit here in the chair,
Mhm.
do not, in a connect, enjoy your pity party, or you can go there, stepping in, and connect with love, connect with God, do
Yeah.
what you come here for. But I'm trying to say, to finish this story, I I chose to open myself 100%. Whatever the God you're gonna send to me for me to do, I'm going to do it. Was not an easy path, was not an easy journey, you know what I mean? But the transformation that happened in my life was huge,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Was something huge, even when I moved to this area that I went through, my son's mother asked for divorce. I had no family here, I had no friends here. Was when the COVID came, you know what I mean? I had no money, nothing. I was going through some health problems, you know what I mean? Here we go again. But at this time, to make a long story short, this time, you know what I mean? Like I said, I had no one here. That's when you talk a few months ago, sometimes the universe is gonna make you feel very uncomfortable. Do you know why? To help you. Through this time that I connect with some depression, I connect with anxiety, you know what I mean? My son was 2.5 years old, and when she asked for divorce, was very hard for me to be there for him, and I mean, be there for myself. But once again, I know the finish line was somewhere out there. And I said, I'm not going to stop till I cross the finish line. I did it again, and I make through, my friend. I
Yeah.
lived in some people's house for a while. I lived inside my car. for close 8 months.
Mhm.
But you know what? I knew that was happening in my life for a reason. And one of those things that I feel God to share again, that I remember one day I was driving, even though I forgive my son's mother, I forgive myself, for some things, blah, 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 but I still carry some things in here inside of myself. That's when I ask again for help, for God, for guidance in the seasons. And I ask God, help me to see states with the eyes of love and help me to love her the way you love us. As soon as I finish to say that, tears start come down to my eyes. I was driving. I start crying so freaking hard. I have to pull over. And I don't know how long I was there crying for. I stayed there for a long time crying, but I felt this pain so strong here, you know, on my chest that I thought, swear to God, I thought I was going to die. But I ever the thought to grab my phone, call 911, and I asked for help. I knew that I had to go through. It was something was releasing from my body. But at that day, at that moment, I was able to today to see her with the eyes of love is to forgive her unconditionally.
Mm.
But that change that I made, the only was not only for me, it was for my son as well and for herself. Today she's a totally different person with me because I changed, I chose how to change them. I went through the pain, I went through to all those challenges, I mean. But I crossed the finish line one more time.
Mhm.
And now again, I'm another race again in my life. But I know the finish line is there, Stephanie. I know the finish line. I know you personal, my friend. I know the finish line is there for you as well, Stephanie.
100%. I
But we
truly,
need to know our body. Sometimes I am tired. Sometimes my back is hurt. Sometimes my neck is hurt. Sometimes I do not sleep well all night long.
and
And
those we're asked to give ourselves compassion and to not judge ourselves for feeling that way, but because it's okay. We're asked to not be angry with ourselves, but that's the time to give ourselves grace. When we give ourselves grace, we're met with grace. We are the source of that grace. We're the source of our peace. We're the source of our healing. And so the times where we feel like we want to give up, because it is human to just, I'm depleted, I'm overwhelmed, I have burnout. That's an opportunity actually for us to approach ourselves with love, truly, and just allow it. Allow it,
100%.
allow it, accept it, know that it's fleeting, it's not permanent, this emotion is temporary. Um, and the more you have acceptance, the easier it is to overcome. But I feel those struggles too. We're going to because we're still growing. We still have a lot to learn. I tell my clients that I'm a teacher and a student at the same time. I'm always teaching
Yeah, me too. Even
constantly.
I tell my son as well. Sometimes I'm your teacher, Elijah. Sometimes I am your student.
Yeah, that's the give and receive, at the same time. You can't take an inhale without an exhale. You can't exhale without an inhale. So it's at the same time you're doing both. You're giving something to someone and you're receiving something in any present moment. If you can see it that way. And once you can expand your perspective to experience life from that viewpoint of both giving and receiving and serving to others, that's where the universe really does orchestrate things in your favor.
I was listening to you, Stephanie. Something, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this, but listen to this. Now, the things that you face, I face, and I mean, we feel as well, and so many other people. I like to say is when our old self, is dying. Okay,
Mhm.
and do you know Dr. Joy Dispenza, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
do you know?
he's
Yeah.
referenced in a lot of my book.
Okay, but anyway, so I I'm not kind of person that like to read books, no, but I like out of books. So, but anyway, so I listened to a few his books, But as I was listening to him before, And I say, wow, do you know what? This is true story. What they came to me and said, wow, one of those days, you know what I mean, I'm gonna work by his side, you know. We're gonna do some retreat together because we are in the same page, you
Mhm.
know, but because he's a doctor, he's a science, you know what I mean? He explained things different than me. He uses words that I can't even pronounce, you know what I mean? If I try, you know what I mean? I need to study a lot to be able to pronounce the words, the way he explained the brain. But what I'm trying to say, you know, when our old self, you know, is dying, our old self doesn't die with like, you know, one shot, oh, it's dead. No, it's gonna be so many bullets, you know what I mean? Lots of bullets to be able to kill our old selves. Because the old self is me, our old beliefs that we have. We believed in some things for so long in our lives. And I mean, all this information go down there in our bodies, in our cells, it stay there. When you change, when you make a no, let me change. When you make a decision to change anything in your life, remember you're gonna go here, you're gonna change here, right? If the new information go down to your cells, to your body, when they receive this, they know they say, what is this? We don't organize this. What is this new thing that you've been sending here to us? We don't want this. Here, take it back. They send it back through. That's how Doc Joe Dispenza explained. They send the information back through your spinal cord to your brain, right? Say, we don't want this. We are happy we've been living depression for 30 years. We've been living in this alcohol addiction for 40 years. We've been living with this anger problem for 20 years. We've been living here with some forgiveness for forever. We are happy here. We are safe in here. We are not going to change, you know. So do not send this information for us because we are not going to change it. So this is something that I never, when I start listening to him, I say, wow, my God, I talked to people, so many people before about these things, so many clients before about those things. But this exactly what happened with every single person, with you, with me, everyone else. When you make the change, you know what I mean, this information is go there, it then come out and say, we don't want to change. It then feels like sometimes, my God, I'm doing everything that I can. I'm meditating, I'm praying, I'm helping, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it feels worse than before. That's when the people give up. But once again, let's break the finish line. You can see the finish line, but you cannot give up because your old self, your old beliefs, you know what I mean, is fighting very hard to not change, to not allow the new one to come and replace them. Your egos here, use everything they can to stop you, keep you out there. That's one of the reasons people give up, give up for good. You know how many times that I went back for to quit drink a lot. You know how many times I went back for to quit drugs a lot. You know how many times I went back for to quit smoke a lot. It's so many other things in my life. But one day, boom,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's similar to me. I would know enough and I would have these spiritual experiences, but my ego would still gravitate toward old patterns, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and I
The ego,
really,
this was, the ego doesn't know anything's new. The ego, when the ego feel traveling and they feel, oh, they're gonna push him away. No, no, no. The ego fight like, no one. Oh my God, the ego use everything they can. So people need to understand this. You cannot quit the fight. You ask for more soldiers. Who is your soldiers? Your spirit to fame, your spirit to gods, the stars, Mother Earth, no, the oceans. Ask you, invited every single one to join your arm to help in this fight.
hell yeah, you have to ask for support. We have free will, and the divine cannot intervene unless we
Yeah.
ask for it. Really. I mean, we've already been chosen. They're waiting for us to choose it. That's the paradox, you know?
Yeah,
God,
but
God's not going to come down to your lowered frequency. He's waiting for you to level up, raise your frequency.
yeah. I
That's
was listening to this, something funny. I'm a New York Giants fan. I love football. Tomorrow I'm gonna watch the game anyway, so that's my treat. I love to watch the game. I watch the game every Sunday. That's my treat. I don't go anywhere. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. I don't go to people's house. I don't. People
Yeah.
don't come here. I have no friends coming here. Nobody invite me for anything. You know what I mean? The only people come here is some clients. You know what I mean? Or my son. And that's it. But like I said, watch New Orleans Jazz is my treat. But anyway, so but I was going to say now, it's so important. You know what I mean, for us. You know what I mean, to how I'm gonna put this here to understand there is a solution
Hmm.
and an explanation for every single thing, But before the solution to come, don't try to focus only. Thank you. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is this. Don't try to focus only to find the explanation why something happening to you, why this is happening to you. Because when you folks to try to find the explanation why I was raped, why my father, this happened to me, he spanked me so much, he said so many terrible things to me.
Mhm.
I'm focused only in the things that are happening. I'm asking for explanation. When I'm trying to say, when you connect with the solution, when you connect with the lesson, like I learned, it's something that I say to clients, many people, ask the right questions.
Mhm.
Right? What message this situation has for me? What this situation is trying to tell me, to teach me?
Mhm. Yeah.
What these things that I went through, my father, show me the lessons, show me the message in this situation. Or it can be something for another incarnation, there can be some. It's a long story, but I have some few videos that I talk about this on my other YouTube channel. And not
Mhm.
only about my father, about forgiveness, how can I was able to understood why he did all these things to me, why did I went through all those things. But when I stopped being a victim mode, or when I stopped to try to find explanation, all those things came to me. Because you when you go here and say I understand why you gotta tell me why some people sometimes fight in a session with me against the spirit to try to understand why something happened to them, why something is happening to them, and the only thing the spirit asked me to say to them, just surrender. I'm surrounded. No, you're not surrounded. You're still controlling because you're still fighting. You know what I mean? I did that many times. I was fighting back. I want to know what it is. I want you to tell me what it is.
Yeah. I think that the deeper the wound you have, the more light, is required to fill it in. And so when you have really challenging struggles, I think it's really a testament to the fact that your dreams are just really big. Because in order to hold an abundance amount of love and light, it requires you to hold that much darkness, really. So I think that most people, when they pray, they're asking to receive something. But in my opinion, all creation has already been created. The answers are right there in the present moment. I think you need to pray to be able to perceive it.
Wow.
Change
Oh,
my
wow.
perception, because in order to
It's
perceive, then
beautiful.
receive. The receiving, it's already there. But if you can't perceive what it is to receive, then that's what you need to ask for. Let me see this in a different way so that I can
Help
have,
me. I just love. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm Lisa. I just love. Go ahead.
yeah, no, but that's really it. I think that for me, a lot changed when I wasn't asking for anything. I was just asking to see something in a different way. And once I did that, I saw things happening for me, not to me. I was the co-creator in my life, and it made me feel a lot more powerful. Not in a controlling way, but the powerlessness that I felt through being separated from my divinity and from my higher purpose was what was keeping me in that fear-based victim mentality that I couldn't get out of. So I think that I shifted mostly when I realized that life all of creation is here right now. We're not missing anything. It's all right here. But to experience a different human experience, you have to be able to perceive things differently so that you can start to absorb it and observe it that way. That makes all the difference.
You mentioned love many times. We've been talking here for close to an hour and a half. You
Mhm.
mentioned love many times. But I agree with you 100%. I am 100% believer that love can heal anything. When a few months ago that you asked, me to show me the, I don't know exactly what you said, like, show me to see this in a different way, something like that you said before. But the same thing that I talked before about my son's mother, when I was, couldn't understand why she was asked for divorce. We had such a connection. We both so gifted, and we were supposed to do so many beautiful things together for people. We could have helped so much one another. And then after that, she was constantly trying to hurt me and destroy me for no reason. I have never done anything, at least in this life, to hurt this woman, to disrespect this woman. But I was there. I was there over and over and over again till the day, like I said a few months ago, that I asked God to help me to see her with eyes of love and to love her the way He loved us. Everything's changed now. If they want to disconnect myself from there, that I was trying to find explanation. Okay, thank you for helping me to find explanation for all the things that she was doing with me. When I asked God, to see her with the eyes of love, love her the way God loved us, everything came to me. Everything came now. Like I was in a restaurant. And as soon as I sat on a table, the waiters come with my food, to my drink, with my dessert, with everything that I like without me asking anything. Say, how do you know that I like to eat this? How do you know this is my favorite dessert? How do you know this? I like to drink water with lemon. How do you know? Do you see what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened. Is that my God, I just love this conversation. Is that beautiful what, Stephanie?
Energy is
It,
felt before it's seen, you know? That's the reality. Everything that's made of matter is energy first before it solidifies. So if you become more intuitive and you connect to source, the source of who you are, um, that's where your power really lies, you know?
it's beautiful. But Steph, I would love now to talk about two more things on me. So before we finish this for today, one is a related to the last one is gonna be about your book. It's very important for us to talk, but it's related only to what your awakening. What changed, after you went through your awakening, into wake up, for this new version that you are connected right now.
Yeah. Well, for me, I became a lot more open, um, creatively. My thoughts became more slower. I was able to receive information in what I call downloads. I started painting. I would create paintings on canvas and create with acrylic, things that I've never done before. So my creative abilities, they became enhanced. I also started having a gift of claircognizance where I would
Mm.
have these very powerful knowings, and I wouldn't need to justify my beliefs because I would just know before things would happen. I could perceive energy from a very authentic place, and I can tell when people weren't being authentic. Um, I had deeper clairsentience, which is a stronger feeling towards other people, which helped make me more empathic. Um, I also felt very firmly guided. There was things that were happening in my life, synchronistic events that would not have happened had I not had this stronger connection to the divine, truly. Um, my writing became stronger, more elaborate. My teachings became more confident, and I was able to help people in a more authentic, but also more grounded way, where I had this knowing what they needed to hear and how I could help them. Um, so I really my spirituality is really important to me. I don't go to a church. I work on Sundays right now. So for me, I've never really needed a place of worship. My worship was here.
Me
Um,
too.
my connection with God is not for other people, it's for me. Um, I mean, it is the byproduct of that is for other people, but I found a sense of solitude that I absolutely enjoyed. I started to really
Me
love
too.
company. I started to really value this alone time rather than rush it or feel the need to fill the void of some in some way. And so I the inner union with myself was really what changed for me. I felt that I was more sovereign with myself. Um, I just, and I can't really explain it. There was a very significant time where I was in deep meditation and I was just lifted up by angels. And I had this gold love light feeling, and I can't, it was very expansive. And every time I try to explain this story, I don't really have the words for it other than I was so grateful that this was so real, that this was more real than my physical reality, that life is eternal, truly. Consciousness is eternal. And it's the greatest gift to experience. And I really want that for so many other people. That's my biggest passion, you know?
It's beautiful. Thank you for to share that with us. Awakening, my awakening, it came in sections. You know what I mean? It didn't come this one time, and it came little by little. It's a beautiful story, but for another day. But I really like talking about now about the books. It's called Bent Not Broken, right?
Yeah.
So the first question I like to ask about the book, why you chose this name, Bent? It's like the palm tree. Here we live in Florida, right? The hurricane comes, the palm trees go
Yeah. Because I was really,
bent, the palm trees bent, but don't break, right? Go back up again.
well, you see, healing is really not linear. Um, and life is not linear really. I mean, we view life from a linear time frame, but the reality is that we're always having seasons and change. That's actually the only constant in life is change. And so I used to feel very broken when I was wounded and I couldn't accept a lot of the things from my past, but I was able to shift my mentality, which is really, I feel like I bent reality. I was bending my reality, so I was never broken. I was
This one said the time is 3:33. That's you start talking about the book. Look at that. It's
oh,
beautiful. Thank you. Go ahead, go ahead.
that's confirmation right there.
Yeah, yes, yes.
And
Thank
so
you.
I felt like I was really just on a bent path, not a broken one. And as soon as I felt like, okay, I really am worthy of a magical life, that this
Yes, you are.
full of twists and turns, but it doesn't mean it's not fixable and not malleable, where I can shift this and change it all around. So bent, not broken is really um it's a brand that I made to really help people see that their breakdowns are really a setup for their breakthroughs. Just really experiencing life as it's bent in spirals and waves, rather than completely broken, shattered. So I wanted to make it relatable to everybody because I'm sure everyone has felt a sense of brokenness at some point in their life, whether it was through loss or grief. And so it's a testament to my own transformation too. It's a workbook. It's not just a book. There's psychoeducation involved, a lot of neuroscience and spirituality. I kind of connect the spiritual aspect of consciousness, um, where I basically explain how consciousness plus your self-concept equals your reality. So through subconscious beliefs and neurolinguistic programs, it's a workbook guided basically to have other people write their story. I remember a client recently said, "Why isn't it just a regular book? Why is it a workbook for, journaling questions?" And I said, "Because it's your story. You're the one
I
changing,
love that. I love.
it's your story. You're the one changing it." So there's a lot in it, a lot of ego integration with your physical mind, higher mind, and how to navigate, become really the creator of your own life instead of a secondary character. You become the main character where you everything that was buried underneath your subconscious is comes to the surface, and you can start to shift reality and actually see the evidence of that. So I love it. I used it myself. I use it in my treatment center that I work at. And it's good for energy awareness, which I think is the key thing to changing anything. If you don't acknowledge what needs to be changed, then there's really nothing you can change. So I think awareness is key. So there's a lot of self-reflection, self-awareness in this book. There's tools and techniques to use. There's a guided meditation that you can use with a QR code. It's a return to presence
Mm.
meditation. Um, but it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. It's good for emotional regulation, you know, all the
Do,
different.
do, do, do you have the book with you over there?
I do. Yes, this is one of the older copies. I'm waiting for a bunch of the different copies, but it's pretty colorful.
It's beautiful.
All of the artwork. Um, but there's different materials on here. One thing I love about this book is I use a lot of different psychologists, a lot of doctors, scientific evidence to explain the understanding of how our mind works, how consciousness works.
I'm supposed to be in your book. You should have come.
I know, I know.
I'm
I'll
just, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you.
But it really is a wonderful book. I talk about the brain waves of consciousness here, so
So
people,
this book, can be. It's not for a specific type of. They can be for anyone, right? Anyone can read this book.
anyone on the path to wanting to change their life.
I love. I love.
There's practical techniques. This page comes from Dr. David Hawkins, his emotional frequency
Hmm?
scale. I know it's
Wow.
see, but you're able to really interact with yourself on a deeper level. So it's got a little bit of shadow work involved, but really it's kind of like your own school. It's just
Where people can buy your book, anywhere books sells
on
and
Amazon. For now, it's on Amazon. I'm working on building up my website, so it will be on there,
yeah.
bentnotbroken.com. But I have it linked on my Instagram, which is bent_not broken_IG. But you can find it on Amazon. I'll give you the link so you can post it in the description box on this episode. Um,
That's fine.
Good. Yeah, I'm really excited. I use this in my teachings, and so I wanted to compile all of these lessons that I use with my own patients and clients and make it into a book so that other people have access to this healing.
Yeah, I think it was I did not have any thoughts on me to talk about the book, and the ending. It come out this way. I don't know why, but now as I listen to, must be a reason why they make all these things happening here. For we've been talk for close an hour and 40 minutes right now, but because we talk so many. things, some personal things that you went through, the way you believe, the way you think, So I believe this is a good way for people can know you a little bit,
Yeah.
even myself as well. But yeah, but it just because I know Stephanie for a while, you know what I mean? So, and I know how gifted she is and how blessed she is. And I'm so grateful, thankful, that God, cross our lives. You know what I mean? Eva, I'm gonna talk to you, after we finish here about some things that came to me. But you are very, very gifted, my friend. And working this book, the love that you put in this book, you know what I mean? And the things that you went through, the challenges that you faced, you know what I mean, to make these things come to reality. For some reason, this kept coming to me, to cross the finish line, and now your book is there for people. It took a little bit while. I know because you talked to me before, you faced some challenge, but what is the reason, my friend? It's like, when we are cooking something, right? You want to make these special dishes, I mean, for ourselves, or maybe for our children, or for someone, a friend, for someone you love. And then you put a little bit garlic, a little bit onions, parsley, blah, blah, and then you taste, no, it's not there yet. And then you keep it cooking on. So, oh, let me see, maybe something else. It take a little bit, sometimes take hours, you know what I mean? So for us to, if some people, so why it takes so long to cook this food? It's because something missing there. Then you taste it again, but oh, it's not there yet. That's exactly what the journey that you went through with the book. It took a while, but now the problem that you have, to give to someone, to help people, it's beautiful, my friend.
Mhm.
Because what I'm trying this to explain here about Stephanie, she was focusing on me. Oh, I need to make something to put a book out there. They're going to bring millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, the love she put in there is to help millions and millions and millions of people who book. The money will come. The money can come from the book. The money can come from different sources. We all need money to pay bills, to this, for that. But I
Yeah.
know her very well. Her folks know is not in the money first. Her folks was it to help, to serve them, to help people to connect with the better version of themselves, and everything else. I mean, will come after them, because I believe now when you put money first, now we disconnect ourselves from love. Now we disconnect ourselves from God.
Absolutely. Yep. You have to focus on the tree of life, not the apples from the tree.
100%, 100%. But at least now, I have some small pre-questions to ask you before we finish. Even before you finish, now I'm gonna ask you to share with people how people can find, if you like to share anything. I know you said you've been working on a website, but maybe Instagram. I know you have, something on Instagram. But the three questions that I have, my friend, the first one, who is God?
God is the all, the one, and the one is the all. God is just pure consciousness. And in order for God to know he is God, he made billions of other God-like consciousness to express themselves in multitudes of ways so that they too can find who God is. That's the most beautiful explanation that I can give. It's really, um, it's the Christ within all of us. Jesus said the kingdom lies within you, and that's really what it is. I truly believe that I wouldn't have been able to find God without being forced to find myself. So
Oh, I love.
I
So
think
no, go
I think
ahead.
Rumi who said, you're not the whole drop of the water, but the whole ocean is in one drop. It's like that. We have God within us. We're made of God minds. So there's a God in every single one of us. And so how would you treat God? Treat yourself.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
call it Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, Allah. It's just a label. It's just a label. It's the source.
Yeah.
It's complete frequency of pure love and light.
Beautiful. Thank you, my friend. The second one is why forgive?
Well, it bridges the gap between everything that you want to become and everything that you want to experience. When we have resentment, we're actually holding resistance because we're basically saying, I'm not that, or I'm not you, or I'm separate from. And so there's little gaps in those areas. When we forgive, we're acknowledging that we are all human, we all make mistakes, and then we have more of a connection where there's just unity and wholeness. Well, without forgiveness, we have those little wounds, those little pockets of the wounds. And so you'll never really feel fulfilled and feel whole. Wholeness really comes from having enlightenment, which is really meant, comes from the word mental, which means mind. And enlighten is to light up the mind. Same thing with atonement, at one with the mind. And so forgiveness, in order to have forgiveness for others, you really have to have self-forgiveness. I think that's the most important thing. Um, there's a really cool Hawaiian technique called Ho'oponopono that I
Yeah.
use. And it's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And so anytime I get a little aggravated or I get a little activated in some capacity, I will really take that time to forgive myself and the other person. But I think forgiveness is the key to compassion. And it really starts with the self.
Thank you. Beautiful. And the last one, why we here?
To be more you. Our purpose is to be ourselves in our own authenticity, because when we are ourselves, we're vibrating at the highest frequency of expansion and love. And we're here to evolve and expand our soul to see how much love it can hold, which is really infinite. But we go through these challenges because it actually guides us into experiencing love, because you can't experience love without pain. So it's really a beautiful, Earth is a pretty dense planet, and we're here in this space and time to experience growth through a process of change. So
Thank
we're
you, my
really
friend.
here to serve one another. But the more I'm myself, the more I'm helping transferring that energy for you to be yourself and that resonance of authenticity. When you can feel my authentic vibration, it gives you the chance to show your light in that capacity. So the more we are vulnerable, the more we express, the less we are, we depress. I always say that the opposite of depression is expression. So to get out of low vibratory states, we have to be ourselves. We have to take the shame away. We have to tell our stories. We have to tell, just express ourselves so that humanity can experience a deeper love, a more in-depth connection to themselves and to everybody around, community.
It was very beautiful. How people can find the stuff? You can share whatever that you like to share, your website. Or no, website is still going to work. Or Instagram or something.
I'm working on my website. It will be www.bentnotbroken.com. My Instagram right now is bentnotbroken_IG. I also have a personal account, steffi.lew, stephy.lew. I'm working on my YouTube channel as well. So I have a full-time job. I'm a mom and I have all these little projects going on. So I'm really doing everything myself because again, one of my biggest lessons here is not outsourcing myself. So I've had to do a lot of things on my own, which I'm very grateful for, but it is taking a little bit more time than I'd like. Um, but I would love to come on your channel again. And, you
Yeah.
know, when I build a little bit more up, I will be able to um, have more information for everyone. But right now, everyone can find my book on Amazon, Bent Not Broken, A Journey Through Transformation. You can also look up me as the author, Stephanie Lewin, and get the book.
Thank you. Yes, Stephen, don't go away because I'm going to stop here, but I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes if you don't mind. But I just want to say thank you so much to take the time here today to share parts, of your story, of your life, with everyone. I do believe, what I mean, that it's so important, for us, to show our other side to people. The people, so, like we talked a few months ago, and people sometimes look at you or look at me and they think, "Oh my God, I wish it be you. You always like this. You always have an answer for this. You always help me. You always help me people." But I tell people, I always tell people, my friend, I'm a human as well. I face my own challenge. I face my own demons sometimes, and I mean, but I chose to continue doing what I come here for. And no one, this is a decision that I make, in my life. No one, doesn't matter what, no one is gonna take me away from this path. No one is going to have the power anymore to make me go back
Mhm.
and connect with the older version of myself.
Right.
I have so much faith on this, Stephanie, that no one, no power, no one has that strong power to make me to go back again for a place that it doesn't belong to me anymore. Was a place that was a part of my journey in the past, And everyone has has the same power. We talked a little bit before. Sometimes you go back forth many times till you break through, till you cross the finish line. But after you cross the finish line, my friend, no one, no one can make you go back. Only you can go back if you want. But I know that you don't want to come back. I don't want to come back because it's nothing there for us anymore to learn. We don't need to go there anymore. The only place we need to go is there. See there? It's there. It's not there. It's
And forward.
front.
Send.
It's not in the back. See the back. See, can you see anything in the back over there? No, you only can see this beautiful no question that I have here. But in the front, I can see so many things, my friend. I can see Buddha over there. I can see my friends over here, my sanctuary, my single balls, the camera. I can see the computer. I can see my receiver here. I can see so many. I can see you. I can see a lot of things on my computer. Look how many things you can see when you look, folks, on there. All right? Beautiful, beautiful.
It was a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for having
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, just give me so much. Thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful for the opportunity for me to be here again, to have this beautiful conversation with Stephanie. Please don't feel free to make any comments below. Please don't, check out her book, on Amazon. There has explanation, what the books are about. She's already give some explanation to us today. If you feel guided, my friend, I guarantee you 100% this book, will help you so much, in your spirit journey, in your spirit growth. I bless everyone with infinite abundance, and I'm sending a lots of light, love, healing energy for everyone. Thank you for love. I love you all. Namaste. Just give me one moment, Steph, and let me stop this in here.